The war between Palestine and Israel has started again. Hamas started attacked Israel and fired more than 5,000 rockets into Israel. When the two countries were fighting, right-wing countries joined in. Israel was beaten up again. At this critical moment, Israel rarely sent a signal to China, hoping that China could lend a hand. In this regard, China has expressed its attitude on Palestine-Israel issue. So, what is going on? What did Israel ask China for help? It's Let's continue watching this video. As we all know, as the conflict between Russia and Ukraine intensified, the powder keg of Middle East broke out again after 2 years. The conflict between Palestine and Israel was ignited again. Palestinian armed organization Hamas fired more than 5,000 rockets directly into Israel without any warning. In an instant, smoke rose, several buildings collapsed, and Israel suffered heavy losses. Although Israel has an advanced air defense system, has sounded the air defense alarm early, a large number of rockets still hit the target because the rockets were too dense. As one of the powerful countries in the Middle East, how could Israel bear such a cowardly attitude? It immediately sent several F-15 and F-16 fighters to the Kakshan area in Palestine and carried out a large-scale airstrike on the area. Under the fierce exchange of fire between two sides, the two sides have temporarily suffered more than 1,600 casualties and more than 6,000 injuries. And this number is still rising as the war ferments. Of course, Israel is not so easy to mess with. Israel immediately issued a declaration of war to the Palestinian side, saying that it would immediately eliminate the Hamas and armed organization at all costs. Just as Israel, Palestine were tit for tat, Israel's neighbor Lebanon attacked Israel again, and Lebanon's Hezbollah also launched a large number of rockets into Israel. Later, Lebanon confessed the matter, saying that the reason for sneak attack on Israel was to show the outside world the unity between Hezbollah and Hamas. This statement is indeed a bit far-fetched. In fact, it is not difficult to see that Israel has caused great anger because of its arrogant behavior in the Middle East for many years. In the early days of Israel's founding, Israel provoked the Fifth Middle East War, dispatched more than 100,000 people from the Navy, Army, and Air Force, launched a war against Lebanon, and eliminated the Palestinian Liberation Organization. Soon after, Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Palestine followed. Both organizations were established to resist Israel. Therefore, after the outbreak of Palestine-Israel conflict, Hezbollah immediately launched an offensive against Israel, which can also be seen to be retaliation for Hezbollah previous actions in Israel. Now, at the same time, anti-American pioneer Iran also stood up to support Palestine. Now, three countries that have participated in the beating of Israel have stood up. If multiple countries besiege Israel again, the Middle East will be in chaos. What the United States is most worried about is still going to happen. In fact, Israel has only one step to go get to where it is today, and they can blame themselves only. Because now Israel's invasion of Palestine has reached a historic peak. As the saying goes, a lean camel is bigger than a horse. Where there is oppression, there is resistance. After the end of World War II, the United States, relying on the strong military strength, demanded that Palestine set aside an area to accommodate Israeli refugees. Later, United States and Western countries set their sights on oil in the Middle East and wanted to hold it firmly in their hands. It may also be that the Americans believed that Kissinger said what Kissinger said, whoever controls the oil controls the world. Against this background, Palestine suffered a divided fate, divided into two, becoming Palestine and Israel. From then on, Israel became the claws of United States and Western countries in the Middle East, constantly provoking wars against neighboring countries, helping itself, the United States, expand its influence in the Middle East. Over time, most of Palestine's territory was illegally occupied by Israel, and Palestine launched a resistance. After seeing Israel suppressing Palestinian crazy firepower, the United States was ready to send an aircraft carrier battle group to Middle East to support Israel and was ready to provide long-range firepower support to Israel at any time. As Israel's big brother, United States is very likely to provide weapons and ammunition assistance to Israel. And the reason why United States did this was because the United States helped Israel develop the world famous Iron Man. In this war, Taeshong air defense system was silent. It can automatically identify and intercept Hamas rockets in short time, effectively protecting Israel cities and people, and is known as Israel area. However, when Hamas recently launched more than 5,000 rockets at Israel, the air defense system, which is considered to be the most advanced in the world, had a serious failure, and it can even be said to have failed. This is why the United States intervened in this war. It is worth mentioning that even though the Russian-Ukraine conflict has been going on for more than a year, the United States has never sent an aircraft carrier to support it, which shows that importance of Israel to United States. Just when everyone thought that Sixth Middle East War was about to break out, Israel actually sent a signal for help to China. The Israeli embassy in China said China is good friend of Israel, hopes China will condemn the behavior of Palestine. It should be noted that due to game between China and United States, the relationship between China and Israel is not good. In response to this one, the spokesperson of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Chinese nation also responded, stating China's attitude and position on Palestine-Israel conflict. Whether it is the Palestine or Israel conflict or Russian-Ukraine conflict, Chinese remain neutral, will not provide assistance to any party. China is a common friend of Israel and Palestine. Chinese sincerely hope to see Palestine and Israel coexist peacefully. At the same time, Chinese also call on relevant countries to exercise restraint and calm. In order to prevent the situation from escalating, both sides should stop the war as soon as possible. Chinese all know that wherever there is a war, there are Americans. The biggest initiator of this war is also inseparable from United States because United States not only did not stop Israel occupation of Palestinian territory but also acquiesced not not long ago, since China successfully adjusted the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Iran, the United States has been trying to regain its place in Middle East and forcibly promote Saudi Arabia and Israel to shake hands and make peace. Once Shai truly reconciles, the Palestinians will never have a chance to make breakthrough. Because Saudi Arabia is one of the main forces supporting Palestine, the current situation has no way out for Palestine, and it can only rely on its own desperate struggle. However, no matter what, Chinese hope that the conflict will end soon and not involve more civilians, ordinary people. So, what do you think of this? If you like the video, please thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.
After watching this video, don't forget to give it thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we post new content. Your support means a lot and helps our LGBTQ kissing team create more kissing videos like this. Thanks for watching.